कुत्ते कमीने
बसंती कुत्तों के साथ
कि बन गया कुत्ता देखो बन गया पट्टा.
Hi guys, welcome to the Quint. Thank you so much for talking to me. Firstly, the trailer looks phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's piqued everyone's interest and I don't think you'll have much to worry about.
We should be proud and excited,
Yeah.
along with being nervous, that
Yeah.
we've at least raised curiosity and got people's attention. And I think
Yeah.
that's an accomplishment that in 2.5 minutes we've been able to do that through a trailer.
Favorite dialogue with the word kutte in it. It can be from any film.
मेरे लिए तो ये सबके सब कुत्ते हैं.
From any film.
नहीं हमारी फिल्म
तुम अपनी जगह बोलो.
प्रमोट कर रहे हैं.
मेरे मन में या तो कुत्ते कमीने आता है या मेरे मन में गाना आता है कि बन गया कुत्ता देखो बन गया पट्टा.
बसंती कुत्तों के साथ.
ओह
I knew you were going to go with that one for some reason. I don't know why.
I have one. बेटा चार्ली ये दुनिया बड़ी कमीनी चीज बड़ी कुत्ती चीज़ है. इसका एक ही जवाब है कमीने.
Arjun, you know, you're one of the few actors, I would say, who can really boast of having very varied scripts to your name, right? Do you, as an actor, feel fulfilled? I'm not saying fully satiated because there's a long way to go, but do you feel fulfilled essaying the roles that you are nowadays?
It gives me tremendous anxiety and happiness that I'm able to go jump from doing one genre or one kind of role or one, because you should feel that feeling in the pit of your stomach before starting a film, that how do I go from the comfort zone that I just created by doing a role into a completely new space where I have to go and listen to a new mind, a new thought process.
Right.
I feel really happy that I'm able to do that now, and I'm curious about doing that more and more, you know, rather than just resting on my laurels and playing to an image or playing to the gallery or saying I only want to do certain type. I've done it in the past, from Anish Bursby to Divakar Banerjee. I think if there's somebody who can boast of that, that varied degree is me. And I'm really proud of that, and I think I'm enjoying that more and more. So yeah, you're never satiated as an actor, but yes, there's definitely something where I do give myself a pat on the back that I have been able to maintain an appetite for being curious about my craft, as well as enjoying the kind of cinema that is mainstream and still entertaining people and having fun.
Radhika, you know, nowadays in films, we're seeing that the actor is not just black and white, right? There are a lot of shades of grays in everybody, and I think it's a great evolution. And it's not just for the men, for the women as well. And this one, I think you have shades of grey. Essaying a character like this, does it kind of take up a lot more from you as an actor, or do you think it's as easy or as challenging to do as any other role that you've portrayed?
I think it's easier because it's real. Because all of us, we live in that grey space. Sometimes we project that white, sometimes we project that black, but most of the time we're in that grey space. And if we're aware of that space, I think it's easier, it's more comfortable. And you can get behind this thing, oh, I'm doing it for the character, and you cannot look bad. हम यही करते रहते हैं पूरे टाइम कि hey, do not judge me, don't judge me, don't judge me. So we keep putting out different faces. But here I can be comfortable and in a familiar space and say that, hey, I did all of that for a character. So I'll also get a pat on my back.
There's also, because it kind of humanizes you as an actor, I'm thinking, and people can relate to it much more. You know, this film boasts of such a solid star cast. Apart from that, of course, the direction looks phenomenal. Directing stalwarts like these guys, how were your nerves like that on the first day of the sets?
I was extremely nervous. I couldn't believe that it's finally happening, that's all. That first take of calling action cut, it was surreal to me. We called cut and it was a driving scene, so gaadi mein ja rahe the. So by the time we came back, I was like, oh my god, I took my first take.
That day?
Yeah.
Your shoot.
Yeah.
You were nervous?
हाँ, first take में तो
You were nervous?
First take में तो था, of course. Actually, other than Arjun, Radhika and Shardul, because I had workshopped with them, I had already interacted so much with them that I wasn't nervous to direct them. But on each first day of the rest of them, I was just, the first take was the one where I used to not be able to call cut. Or like to Naseer bhai, I wasn't able to go and say anything only. I was just so like, After that, then after the first take, everything would change. Because I would also get out of my head and realize that I have to get the job done. 12 ghante hai, sirf itna, we have to finish.
What's the one thing that you all picked up, each of you picked up from these actors?
Well, I can start with Radhika. Whatever little I did manage to notice of her process, there is an energy around her that there's a sparkle about discovery. I want to do this, can we do that? So, and I think that energy is important because the whole set also feeds off that energy. Tabu hai, मतलब वो मस्ती वाला करे कि आप ये करोगे, आप वो करोगे. Suddenly she switches on, and she'll just switch on and she'll deliver a scene in a take. So I think all her hard work, and even Naseer Bhai's hard work for that matter, I think they do a lot of hard work behind the scenes. They do not project the effort that goes into making things effortless.
Right.
And that's a skill that is very tough, because when you're sitting in your van to know your lines, to get into it, to know and to remember stuff, and still to show up on set and not carry that, not carry that weight around.
Right.
With Tabu, that's amazing. She looks like she might not want to shoot today, in the sense that she come on set, it's almost like, अच्छा आसमान तुम हो तो मैं आई हूँ, मतलब क्या ही था आज क्यों आते हम? बोल देते ना पापा को कि कल परसों अच्छा करना है, हो पाएगा, चलो. And then she's done the take. He doesn't even want one more.
Yeah.
So what was your discussion about? But that's just Tabu,
Yeah.
She's just coming with that energy of being languid and not in a bad or good way.
Yeah.
That's just her. She's floating.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she'll become fire. Naseer Bhai, from looking detached, disinterested, and perhaps not caring, actually is an actor. You cannot survive so many years without not caring.
Yeah.
So I know he does care. But I think there's a charm for he gets people to not connect with him overtly.
Yeah.
So which keeps him in that zone where he does his own thing. If you can acclimatize around him. And that's another great way of working.
Yeah.
And I do not feel that's a bad way of working at all.
Yeah.
You don't always need everybody hovering.
Yeah.
You don't need to be everybody's friend. Konkona, I didn't interact too much with in terms of acting process, but I just appreciate over the fact that a person can direct and act to that ability and then be so unassuming about it, and those are human qualities that I've learned.
Right.
Starting with Arjun, I'm really envious of the switch that he has inside him, where we're shooting the climax. It's a very important scene. I'm shooting bricks, and he's cracking a joke when Aasman is saying rolling. He's cracking a joke, and I am tensed for him because he has a monologue. The camera is not even at me, it's on his clothes, and Aasman is like, okay, rolling, and action, and thar करके पूरा monologue, and Aasman is like, okay, moving on. Plus, he sees the film as a whole. He's not concerned about कि मेरा ये आना चाहिए, मेरे इधर से shots लगा लो, नहीं मेरा एक mid भी लो, मेरा close भी लो, मेरा wide भी लो. Tabu ma'am, Coco ma'am, Kumud sir, Naseer साहब, ये सब पता नहीं कैसे ये लोग बहुत सिक्योर लोग हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा. So what they do is that they because they're so secure, they make the environment very welcoming, and they make the environment in such a way that you as an actor can thrive. They won't judge you. They'll just do their own thing. कुछ भी होता है, they look at the director, उसको करना है करे, हम वरना घर जाने वाले हैं आज. कुछ नहीं होता, so you're not threatened, and because you're not threatened, you can actually think about your character and performance.
Discussion to kabhi nahi.
Nothing. They're very relaxed, very chill, and yes, as Arjun said, that they're such good actors. I don't know. They're so off camera. They're like, कुछ नहीं आता. Coco ma'am is like, हिंदी नहीं आती, ये नहीं आता, वो नहीं आता, and I'm like, no. मतलब I used to get scared for everyone because they all were like, maybe because of the experience that they all have, they're so relaxed. They know that they will be able to perform. So I used to be scared for everyone because Coco ma'am used to be like, what's my line? Oh, so much Hindi. And I used to be like, I actually remembered her line, and I didn't want to say a word. But when the camera used to call action and I used to see them perform in one take, I was like, what an actor. Like they were fooling me.
Aasman, coming back to you, of course you have been on the sets while your father's been directing. What from his school of thought have you kind of picked up along the way?
I think everything. I mean, there's not something that I would leave behind. Like creatively, he's just so evolved that there's nothing that I would be like, oh no, he doesn't know this. Yeah, I mean, it's because I've learned most of like everything I have from him, but there's also like what I did learn in college was more theory based, more structure based, more to open up my creative mind about other things, about other kinds of cinema. But at my core, I've learned from him the most. He's my biggest like he's the guru now of like if I'm the shishya, so everything I've learned is from him.
When there's an ensemble cast, right, it's so important that everyone as a team is so secured to be a part of it. Otherwise, an ensemble film can falter a bit just because of managing egos, I would think, on the set.
Well, I think the poster represents the security that he's been able to give on paper to all of us.
Yeah.
And then I think we've done justice to his vision by never once treading out of line and trying to make it mine.
Yeah.
Because it's everyone's.
Yeah.
But eventually it's essentially coming out of the material.
Right.
When a director has written something and he's very clear about why he wants a certain tone for a film or a certain way he wants to position the film or tell the story, it allows very little room for you to bring in your insecurities.
Yeah.
Because he is clear, you have signed up for what he wants to make. The moment he starts shifting and he starts changing allegiance or starts undermining a lot of it comes from that decorum that is created and the discipline that is created. And I think subconscious upbringing of being around Vishal Bhardwaj has said, where they've dealt with enough actors in the past, they know that there is a certain decorum to follow. To be able to disarm the actor and forget about his insecurities, you have to lead the way in the way you conduct yourself with each and every person, and you always put the film above everything else.
Right.
Not the whims and fancies of trying to entertain the extra baggage that perhaps actors like to bring on a set once in a while.
Yeah.
So I think credit to them as producer, writer and director that they've been able to foster that spirit in most of the films that they've done, and in Quint there's no exception.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.